You're now tuned in to the original podcast of A Stronger Foundation. Welcome. Some call me Doctor, others call me Master T. You can call me anytime. I'm Sweet T, the academic architect PDO. That's planner, designer, and overseer of the academic success plan for kids. So tell your neighbor or call somebody and let them know it's that time. Hey y'all, let's get building. Welcome everyone. This podcast is called When a Child Just Doesn't Know. Today, children appear to be born in their adult form. They are so smart and self-sufficient. As early as possible, they try to be independent of the adults in their lives and will quickly let their adults know that they can do it all by themselves and they don't need any help. But they cannot do it all by themselves. And adults should know better than to allow them to take control of certain life-changing experiences that will govern the quality of their life in the future. I often say that if children only knew what awaits them, they would beg parents to push them more. But they do not know. And as a result, they constantly push back at rigorous academic preventative measures. At present, many teachers stay late in their classrooms, each day up to 7 p.m. or even 8 p.m., scouring the roof and scraping the surface, just searching for ways to save that lethargic student who doesn't even realize they need to be saved. For the sake of emphasis and entertainment, humor my fictitious rendition of a very real issue relating to the invisible conflict between a child and a teacher's attempt to educate them. As I have already said, when a child just don't know, they don't know. They don't know that the medicine, although it tastes awful, will not only make them well, but also make them feel better. And so they put up a great fight to avoid what is best for them. From this last example, imagine a similar case in which a lethargic learner puts up a great wall of defense against learning initiatives and initiators. The way we are created as human, we have a certain innate response to danger. And upon sensing danger, we naturally snap into what's known as fight or flight mode. In this mode, an individual gains super strength and awareness, as all the brain energy is focused on eluding the perpetrator at all cost. The whole while, the entire intention of this response is genuine, as it's the natural response to protecting oneself from danger. Hence, in the end, if the person survives, it's considered a positive win. However, in the case when a child perceives rigorous learning as a threat and goes into combat mode to defend themselves from being reached, in many cases, they succeed in their fight and obtain what I call a negative win. Because they won the battle against being properly educated. Okay, so I've beaten around the bush enough. So here is my fictitious rendition of the great battle between the lethargic learner and the educator. In this corner, okay, I need you to see the teacher with me, standing 5 feet 4 inches, fully equipped with best innovative practices and resources, in addition to decades of teaching experience and an unbeatable record for bringing out excellence in the most difficult learners. The average student is no match. In this corner, her opponent, standing 3 feet tall, with a reputation for resisting the most innovative learning initiatives and have managed to successfully dodge the majority of academic standards thrown their way since beginning school. This child will surely be a challenge. Ding! The bell sounds for round one. The teacher, with all their suavity and glare, engage in a somewhat combat with the student. The teacher's mission: to save this learner at all cost, to protect the learner from the academic dangers which lies ahead. She wants to prevent the child from being submerged in the quicksand of academic abyss. She is highly skilled and endowed with the reputation of being able to rescue the academically disadvantaged and impoverished. And so she fights diligently with all her might, tossing out her net of strategies, hoping to capture the student from the tangled waves. As the student appears to drift further into the deep and too close to the fall, she throws out the life vest. She stretches out her teaching wand in hopes of a miracle that will save the learner from despair of the surrounding whirlpool that has them trapped. But the child fights back with great tenacity and valor, successfully dodging and ricocheting every strategy. She isn't one to give up, but is soon forced to acknowledge that she is no match for a child whose mental wall of learning is miles high and decades wide. Now back to reality. When someone wants to be saved, they reach up to the hand that reaches out to them, right? But if the person doesn't realize that they are in danger, they see no need to respond. And in fact, may even wonder what is wrong with the rescuer. Kids with internal drive and stamina, they don't understand this idea either. But the difference is, because they have internal motivation and stamina, they are naturally propelled towards greatness and naturally reaches back to the educator. And don't tell me to just forget about it or that I am beating a dead horse. The type of learner that I am referring to are underdogs. And I refuse to turn away from the underdogs, especially in this case when the very lethargic child that is ignored could very well be the one who was destined to discover the cure for cancer. The underdogs are those students whose push back to learning is so great that even the best of the best educator may eventually surrender and yield. But that's unfortunate because, again, I strongly believe that these are the kids who have the greatest greatness inside of them. Let me tell you a true story. Thomas Edison invented one of the greatest inventions, the light bulb. But before he succeeded, he is recorded as having 1,000 failed attempts. But the key point here is that he was born with the purpose and destiny to revolutionize the way the entire world sees light. So, what if his parents and teachers had given up on him, saying, I mean, good Lord, just how many times was he going to fail? Moreover, little Thomas Edison had a very slow beginning. He didn't even begin talking until almost 4 years old. His early teachers described him as being hyperactive and scramble minded. And as we would class him today, ADD or ADHD. He would have been placed on Ritalin for sure. But Thomas Edison had a mama bear. Remember that episode? Mm-hmm. In a quote from Mr. Edison, he said this: My mother was the making of me. She was always so sure of me and made me feel that I not only had someone to live for, but also someone that I must never disappoint. The characteristics of a mama bear in the context of my youth is to protect her baby bear from dangers they could never perceive. A mama bear understands that with training, the weak can become giants. As a student, Thomas Edison first attended a small school with nearly 40 students in his classroom. He was what I call self-distracting because he had major untapped academic energy that stirred within him like the magma inside a volcano that is anxious to erupt. So you can just imagine the number of naughty notes sent home to his mama. But little did anybody know, this very child would be the one to revolutionize communication by telegraph and telephone. Wow! So, instead of becoming discouraged and giving up on Thomas Edison, his mom, like a mama bear, embraced her role as the most significant agent of change in her child's life. She decided to incorporate a new approach to the way Thomas Edison would learn. Thomas Edison was no different from your child. And as intelligent as he clearly was, his parents still got him a tutor in order to fulfill his complete potential. Thomas Edison had a tutor. The unique characteristics that propelled Thomas Edison to fulfilling his ideal destiny is a feature that can be taught to students who are lacking in those areas. In conclusion, when a child just doesn't know, they cannot perceive the approaching dangers. They may go as far as to avoid the very lifeline that is tossed to them, refuse to unlock the door to let in their own rescue team, as well as they may detach the ladder provided to them to help them safely climb down from their trouble. Just stop into my world for a brief moment and look through my eyes. Do you think that if kids really understood the battle, that they would really be fighting against their own prosperity? No way. Remember, what they don't know can hurt them. So let's reach our kids so that they can essentially reach themselves. Thank you for listening.